What is my new community gonna look like, and how do you build it? One of the things you need to learn how to do is how to build communities. Most Americans don't know how to do it because we lost it. America is very individualistic. But here in Africa, it's about community building. So how do you build communities that support people? How do you sacrifice on behalf of that community? People respect you. Do you keep it real with those in your group? Once that community starts, people want to join you. Like, for example, I know I'm being long with it. I got so many messages from people when we had an event with the Nylast Connection that want to work with Kenganda or want to work with Nylast Connection because of the event. Because like, wow, it looked organized. It looked like this. What can we do to help you? People will help you. But you got to have a standard of how that community you're trying to build operates. It can't be fighting, a whole bunch of sex going on all the time. Just, nothing happening in the group, but just kicking it and hanging out in pictures. It has to be something that's viable. Yeah. So it has to be a valuable group. Now, if you can do that as a group, you'll have more success here. Even if you're leaving and coming back, hey, contact people, keep them, and then add value wherever you are. Then you will have, your chances are higher. Yeah, as a group. But you have to think as a group, because being an individual here won't work.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya and this is the REPAT podcast. We're missing a few people today. Mentane is out there living his life in London. Gabs is somewhere. Outside is also somewhere. I'll let this lovely lady here introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Tina.
Hi Tina. Tina from where? Living in Uganda for how long?
I'm Tina from Uganda. Living in Uganda for like a year and a half now.
Okay. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
We see someone on the side eyeing you.
Always.
O'Shea, please.
O'Shea Duke Jackson, Sacramento, California. Let's get into it.
Okay, guys, the energy is low. Let's get hyped. So O'Shea shared this video. It's from the Financial Alexander, but it's actually from Maya Speaks, and it's Mark from Africa interviewing with Maya Speaks. Watch this clip with us and react to it with us.
You're going to have to figure out how to do business in a country where business doesn't always work well. You're going to have to figure out a lot of things because there's no pathway here. If they say Tanzania is the wilderness, then you got to act like it's the wilderness. There's no trail for you to follow. You make the trail. Yeah. The people coming are pioneers. They're coming to dust off the ground, clear the bush, and build the trail. There's nobody that's going to hold your hand and say, let's go this way and let's do that and let's go do that. And the person that does that is going to be a very wealthy person.
Yeah.
Because right now, people are coming here to survive. Yeah. And they're getting here and they're trying to survive. There's people, we spoke about this yesterday as well, who are here asking for money for groceries every week. Wow. They're not even here legally sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely know some that are definitely not here legally and were asking me, advice on how. I'm like, I did not know.
But people are coming here with their families. Yeah. Some people are coming here alone. Some people are coming here with this idea about this place, and it's not always true.
Right.
People think there's this kumbaya, love, synergy relationship going on here. It's not the case. You're going to come here, you're going to be alone. Yeah. You're going to have nobody that's going to go and pick you up without asking you for some money. Yeah. You're going to have a situation where you go down the street, you're going to be most likely taken advantage of in some way.
Yeah.
Your brothers and sisters here, they're not together themselves. How can they help you? I'm not saying this is the end-all, be-all case all the time, but this is the common scenario. Mm-hmm. This is the reality. We cannot let people come here with a false belief of what's here. It's not fair to the mothers with single mothers with the children coming here, because that's a big majority of people coming here are single mothers. Yeah. It's not fair to the elderly people coming here alone. It's not fair to the people who sold their houses to come here. It's not fair to any of them, because they're coming here with this idea that everything's okay. Yeah. Oh, they're building for us. We gonna get over there and they gonna give us a plot of land and all this crazy stuff. No, you're gonna get here. You're gonna have to leave every 3 months until you figure out how to work it out.
So guys, you've heard it. I actually want to read a comment from the original video as you guys are getting your thoughts together. So Lisa Smith says, I'm glad that you are all truth tellers. I've been in the Gambia for 2 months. I love the people, land, and beauty of Africa, but I hate the dishonesty overpricing foreigners, mind games, saying brother and sister to take advantage, and begging. I can't walk the beach or enjoy shopping for the bold beggars. If you say no, they'll walk with you and keep asking, trying to make you feel bad when they probably have more money than you have, but they want more. I give a lot and buy a lot, but I hate to be hustled. This video hits a lot of real issues in this amazing, beautiful, awesome continent. I pray things change for the better soon.
Wow.
Yeah, guys, so what do you think about everything this young gentleman said? We've actually reacted to some of his clips before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be repetitive here, but fortunately for us, we have not experienced people that have come here and, you know, hey, I'm stuck, I need this. Although we have people that visit us, but not staying. But I could see how easily that can happen. Because even if you have current income, you still don't know, you know, Uganda or Tanzania or Gambia. And if you're coming from the United States or Canada, I would assume the UK is the same way. It's set up so that if you're an individual, you can do very well as an individual in those places. If I were to move from Sacramento to Houston, it's still a different culture a little bit, but I still have the same bank. I still could, you know, change I would know how to do things, although I wouldn't know how to get around the city of Houston so much so. But I can figure it out. I can still get the credit system the same and everything like that, right? The issue is when you come to Uganda, you are no longer the individual. Everything in America is based on how good you are as an individual. It's your SAT score, your GPA, you know, things like that. How do you stack against everybody else? And you come to find out when you get here, is how well are you within the group, or how well are you within the community? So most of these people are coming to Africa with the same mentality they had in America, like, okay, it's me against the world, or, you know, get rich or die trying. And that, it definitely works to have a good work ethic and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But slowly you have to be the person that builds a community around itself. For example, we had this event that we partnered with Nine Lives Connection. It was a great event. So we saw some of you guys there.
Yeah.
From Africa Day.
Yeah, shout out to
Tina
you.
was there signing autographs. There would have been no way to pull that off without Nine Lives Connection, without Castle Roy, without you know, shout out to Eric, Becha, people like that, like people that really helped us put it together. Even if you do have the money, you just don't have, like, you have to work with people, and if you're not used to that, you cannot make it here. And it's not about more or less the finance thing, because the finance thing also helps. But a lot of people are coming here and you don't have it takes a while to build these things around you. When you want to start a business in America, you don't really have to build a community around the business as much as you need to do here. You still need to, but here you need to build a big fortress around what you do. It takes time because everybody in that fortress is not good. And everybody is not trustworthy. So you have to go out of the country sometimes and come back, and go out and come back and go out and come back. And again, if you don't have those disciplinary things, like you work hard, you work during the weekends, you're always on it, you're trying to add value. Like, for example, before we go to Tina, Dr. Harnett always says, if you're in business in Africa, you want an opportunity, do some things for people for free. That's a good way to secure a deal. People go into hotels and say, hey, this is what I can do. Can I do this for you for free so that I can gain exposure in the market, things like that. But you relatively don't see that coming from Americans or foreigners, because they believe that I can come in, I have this expertise. You know, they tell them, you know, themselves all these things that are just not true, and they're just not ready for the challenges that are here, and then they fail. Yeah.
Okay, well said. Tina, what do you think?
I wanted to know from the video,
Yeah.
why. No, I was about to phrase that wrong. why, because I think he said, you think you'll come, you'll get a plot of land, you'll get this and this and that. Because obviously it was just the clips. I don't have the whole context.
We don't. Yeah.
But why did they think that would be the case?
You know, we used to do podcasts, Sosha and I, back then when Kim was still alive. And I think there's a topic we did about people wanting free land when they come to the continent. So I think some people expect free land when they come on the continent or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
So I was asking, because I know like there's some countries that offer you something in order to like move there. So I was wondering, like, did Tanzania offer something like, so they, okay. Yeah, no, but it does happen. Like relocating in theory is nice. And like in theory it should work out. But like in actual practice, it's really hard. Like I was telling my friend the other day, because she's trying to like relocate back here. And I'm like, I've been here for like a year and a bit now, but I'm still figuring it out. So it's like not going to just like happen like that or like easily. And it's also very easy because I think people move here with like a certain amount of savings. And you think that because it's in a different currency, it seems like a lot. But in reality, like even cost of living here in East Africa has really gone up. So even if you come here with your pounds or your dollars, like it's genuinely not as easy as it was, say maybe like even 5 years ago to like relocate to Africa. And I think it's even harder to relocate to Africa when it's not, or to relocate to a place that isn't your quote unquote motherland. Like, so I've moved back to Uganda, but I'm from here. So it's a bit different. But say if I went to South Africa, like that would still be like a huge shift for me. Cause I think, so for example, if things weren't going great for me, I can still fall back on family that I have and stuff like that. But if you genuinely go to a new country with nobody else, if your money is done, it's done. Like, so I can understand just how easily someone that's come from another country to Africa can be on the streets. It's pretty understandable. It can happen anywhere, especially if you have no one to rely on. It can definitely happen really easily. So I feel bad for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think what I've picked on from what he's saying, I think the one thing that stands out to me is the fact that he said, don't think you're going to come to the motherland and then you're going to be welcomed and whatnot. I feel like most people, most of our viewers watching us, when they think of Africa, the motherland, they think, oh, it's going to be kumbaya, it's unity. Everyone's going to look at you and be like, hey, my brother, my sister, hugs, kisses, merry, let's eat together, let's drink together. It's like a big family reunion. But it's unfortunate that that's not what is going to happen, unfortunately. You know, just because we're the same color doesn't mean I'm going to embrace you immediately. Although that's what should be expected and that's what I should do. But if I don't know you and I don't trust you, then of course I'm not going to be all open and lovely and whatnot. But Ugandans are really hospitable. There's a difference between being hospitable and being overly friendly. You know? Someone can be nice, you know, it's the right thing to do. You know, you're raised right, so of course you greet strangers and whatnot. But that doesn't mean they're going to come and embrace you full on. And I think the big mistake that most foreigners do, or most African Americans do, is they come to the motherland expecting hugs and I think because of the racism they face, they come here thinking, oh, because we're all one color, we're going to be embraced so hard. But it's very unfortunate that that's not what's going to happen here. So I feel like if you come with that at the back of your mind, of whatever, then I think the relocation will be a bit easier, I mean, mentally, because then it's like, okay, so they're not rejecting you, but they're not also embracing you, you know, just right out of the door, you know, something like that. Just expect something like that, you know. It's the same way with us when we're doing farms and we go to these districts in northern Uganda or somewhere else. People can tell that we're not from there. They were not just running out and hugging us. They were not just being friendly and, you know, giving us this and that. No, they would look at us. Of course, they don't trust us. What are we doing there? You know, we look suspicious. We're in a group and something like that. So, of course, they're just being hospitable and they're doing what they need to do, but they're not just coming out and saying, oh, you're my brother, you're my sister. You see, it happens to someone like me in the same country with my fellow people. So what do you think is going to happen to you who was not born in that country? Like Tina said, you don't have family in that country. So something like that could happen. So I feel like if you're coming to the continent, just expect that. Don't expect to be given hugs, and no one's going to like come with and throw roses at you and, you know, flowers and like give you a red carpet type of, you know, welcome. You know, that's that. But yeah.
Let me just say this. So he mentioned something about you're coming to a place where you're going to be on the frontier or like a maverick, and that person's going to be very rich. Not to say that they're not industries that are already here, but you're going to be embarking on some things in which it's wide open, and that's the most opportunity when something's wide open, but it's also the most difficult. Okay, so a lot of people that are coming from the diaspora back to, let's say, Africa or Uganda in general, maybe they are lacking what I would consider a killer instinct here, which is, because for me, I lived in Poland before I came here. So I lived in Poland, so I found out real quick that Poland was not like America. So I needed to get a lot of tough skin to make it happen there. So we did some events in Poland. I brought one of the first Nigerian Independence Days with my buddy in the city I was living in like 2019, 2018. So I started to realize, like, okay, I need to have a different mentality as a foreigner because now I'm the foreigner. So then what it happens is you spend so much time in your country trying to develop yourself to get acclimated in the United States. Then when you come to Uganda or Tanzania or Kenya, or Uganda, you're starting for the most part from scratch. Unless people know you like Drake or somebody like that or Wode Maya. But if people don't know you like that, then you have to get out there and you literally have to fight to re-impress people. You're no longer maybe the top guy anymore. Maybe you don't have anybody that can vouch for you. Nobody's going to call somebody from LinkedIn and vouch for you in a new system. So then how do you then show people what you can do? I would say it takes, number one, a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
And then you're trying to create a word that starts with V and ends in E, a lot of value. So in your sector, how much value can you bring? And that's something that I started to think about, like besides all the problems, all the issues, no matter how much it costs. When I want to deal with a sector, can I prove that my impact on the sector before I got there, what it was, and then when I'm there, we can point to A, B, C, D, and E happening. How much of an impact am I in that sector, such that before I got there, it was one way, but because I'm there now, it's another way. So I look at how much impact can I create. Let me leave the money aside. I know it's going to take some time. It's going to take some years, but can I create impact and value? If I can do that, and I'm thinking about that solely, I don't know when the money's coming, but I know that the better chance of that. I think when people are coming in and thinking like, I'm going to come here to Africa, you get Tanzania, I'm going to do this and go to do that. But when you want to create value and impact on your name, you will do things for free. You will be okay with being used to get to another level. You will be able to try to get out there and compete for what you need to do. And I think that you're not seeing that from a lot of people because they didn't have to do that in the United States. They had a job or they had a pension and they had a house and they had a mortgage. But when you come in here in this environment, this is like, like Studio Rupiella said, Africa has to be in your blood, right? So now you're out there. You have to have that killer instinct.
Yeah.
And I got to get after it today. Next day, I got to get after it. Next day, I got to get after it. Next month, I got to get after it. Next year, I got to get after it. I need to prove to people that, number one, I'm telling the truth. And I want to talk about that. I did a show with the brother from Malawi. He says, being honest in Africa is your greatest weapon. It's your strongest super strength. And I've noticed that doing what I'm saying I'm going to do. I say, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you. I say, I'm going to come by. I'm going to come by. Because so many people won't do that here. They won't. People will say they're going to do something all day. And that's where the diaspora can come in and set themselves up. But even if you're not being successful, just do what you said you're going to do. If you're supposed to be there at a meeting, you're supposed to be a client, supposed to buy something, always do it. So the lying happens so much in the private sector. And me and Satati were talking about it before the episode starts, right? And we're like, it happens so much, but it's our superpower that as a brand, and I'm not saying we're perfect, when we say we're going to do something, that's what we do. And it's helped us so much. So I think one of the issues the diaspora is having is like, okay, yeah, you're being lied to, and that's going to happen. But also look at it as that, okay, like if this person is going to lie, nobody likes liars, even though it happens here a lot, right? But if you're in the private sector and you're telling the truth, you're honest, you're going to get a lot of support. Mm-hmm. You can prove that you're doing the job. And again, I always tell people like this, take a trip here. Firstly, see what you want to do in an industry, right? Then try to pitch people that are big brands. Some may be the same in America. There's Coca-Cola, Pepsi here, places like that, right? Then see whatever you do, if it's marketing, can I do that for free?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want a hotel. Get like 20 or 30 potential clients. Can I do it for free? You go back to America. Then you start working on deadlines. Here's what I'm doing. Now, sometimes you might complete this work and they may not look at it. That's fine, right? So, but those that will look at the work, that's how you set yourself up for when you come back. So when I have that, I already have these clients already. I already have this already. You can always work with the people in, what are these things they have all the time? These little meetings here with the business. They're called Rotary clubs. They're good spots. You know, what do you do? Networking events. Here's what I can do, right? Then once you start to get position yourself as a person that's honest, that delivers high quality, then you have a way to support yourself more or less here. But if you're also not telling the truth, you're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So deliver things on when you say you're going to do it. People are going to lie and get frustrated about that. I used to too. I no longer get frustrated about people lying. I see it as an opportunity. Shout out to the brother Malawi, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to be a liar, I'm going to come in and then I'm going to always do it for free initially. I'm going to invest myself to do it better, and I'm going to deliver on time. And you're going to slowly get deals. You're going to slowly get whatever you need. That will keep you in Africa. But if you're also not telling the truth, because we have people in the diaspora that's lying too, there you go. Right? Mm-hmm. So, but you have to go out there and be proactive. Don't think that customers are going to come to you. Go out there and look for the brands you need.
Yeah.
Look for the industry you need. Look for the market you need. Look for who to impress. Do it for free. The deals will come.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like that's well said. Like Tina said, you're making sense this episode.
I'm mentally taking notes because like I've also relocated. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mentally taking notes.
Yeah. Speaking of trips, I agree with what he said about you have to go and then come back, just like you did. You had to go and come back and go and come back like several times. I feel like relocating at once is so risky.
Yeah.
It is so risky uprooting your whole life and saying this is it. This is the plan A, B, C, D. Like there's no backup, there's no safety net, there's nothing. You're just putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping that it works out. I feel like that is very risky. So that's why I advocate for, coming to the continent, try, see something, go back and come back and then go back. You're seeing opportunities and then you're planning for how you're going to, make those opportunities work for you. You're meeting people. You're planning how you're going to make those people work for you and how you're, making relationships and whatnot. So I'm a firm believer in just going and coming back and going and coming back. Like not just relocating your whole life and saying this is it. If it fails, there's nothing else to do. But I would love to hear from Kohani in the back.
First of all, I would say that I feel like most of the time when people come here, they expect the 40 acres and a mule thing. So same thing like I said yesterday. Most of the things in Africa operate with the basis of, are you my people? So if you come expecting... they're going to do this for me, they're going to give me this, you're going to be very disappointed. And the disappointment is no funny. And you uprooting yourself from somewhere and moving somewhere without you doing your research is very, it's very risky. I remember one time when I was young and I was walking in town with my dad and I saw a white man, and my dad was like, no, that's a white broke man. And I was like, how could you tell? And he was like, most of these people, if you see them staying in Kenya or in Africa for so long, it's because they don't have the resources to go back, because you came here, you lived large, you blew up your money expecting you would make it back very easily, because there's also the notion of like making money in Africa is very easy, and it's not easy. You have to like yeah, so basically that's it. For this one I don't have much to say, but the next one I feel like I have a few pointers, so yeah.
Okay.
You see, first the whole thing about the broke white men in Africa, my dad said the exact same thing.
Really? But how can you tell that one is
You can tell
the way they walk?
No, like you can tell, like there's no, I'm not gonna say the problematic thing.
It.
There's like obviously the people that are like working here and are just stationed here, but then there's people that have been here and they've been here for so long, and you know they've been here, and it's like and they've fallen off a bit. So that happens at times. But what she said about the your people. I think it's important to find your people, because also like nowadays, like with technology and everything, there's like loads of groups for like people that have come from somewhere that are in another country. Like I've met so many people here in Uganda that aren't Ugandan but have relocated here, and there's like little groups of, not necessarily, I would say groups of friends, and then also like actual groups. There's Facebook groups. There's people that would even help you find those resources. You have to like look for those people and those resources. But no, I definitely think there's a way to do it. But yeah, moving here without doing your research is very reckless.
Yeah.
It's super reckless. And I think it's like what Kuhani said, it's the thinking that you're going to get your 4 acres and a mule. But also, I think earlier you said something about, how has it gone? You said something about coming back home and expecting to find hugs and all of that.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me sad, because when you think about it, right, considering like what like African Americans have gone through, they should feel like coming back here is like, because I know personally for me, one of the reasons I decided to stay here, I would say to people, like, I get to be black in peace, you know, and like that's so important. So I'm lucky enough to be able to have where to run and to be black in peace. But for them, it's like with that detachment that's like of no fault of their own, it's like you go and look for that somewhere. But as much as not everyone will give that to you, there are like small pockets of people that are really welcoming and that do all of those things to make you feel welcome in a place. But yeah, it's sad though, because moving to Africa, do you know what the streets are like in Africa? There is a difference between being on the streets,
being
like,
homeless in
the
Africa.
Western world, and like being homeless here. Like it's proper homeless. There is no backup plan.
Proper homeless.
There is no shelter. Like nobody's gonna take you in. Like
a soup kitchen.
because I think I saw a video on TikTok of a white man that was homeless here in Uganda.
Isn't a
and he
white
was
guy with
wandering
like a
the
red
streets.
mark?
I can't remember what he looked like, but it was a white man. And then the guy was like, they were saying in Uganda, like, oh, he's homeless. And then someone's like, oh, Muzungu.
Yeah.
And everyone was just stunned, because it was like, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, because like we expect white people to be rich or something like that.
So it's really possible, and it can happen to anyone.
Yeah, so plan.
Let me just also say this. The young man said, well, you know, these African Americans, for those that are stuck back, right, knowing that there are already some people here, where, you know, they're making it, you know, developing it for us. By the time we get there, things are going to be like that. And he was like, well, don't look at it like that, because these people can't even help you because they're barely making it themselves.
Yes.
So that's something to look at. I know that in most places in countries, for example, like the Ugandan diaspora community that we have, obviously we know we have Brother Greg over in our Grafton or Value Farm. You know, we have our relationship with, you know, Sue, Castle DeRoy, Tina, Maintain, Agaba. So if you look at the 3 different elements in this new community, first you have Ugandans who live here that have decided to help us, whether they're business colleagues or employees or business partners, right? That's number one. They understand foreigners, or they have learned to understand foreigners, or vice versa. Then you have your African American people or your American groups. That could include people like myself, people like the family that we saw from Kansas City. Those are African Americans, right?
Shout out to
Then you have Americans that were that grew up in America, like Greg from Value Farm. That's second group. Thirdly, you have your Black British, okay, and then you have those who are tweeners, Ugandan Americans or Ugandan British, and then lastly Caribbeans or Canadians. So those people have formed what you would consider like a new family, if you will, right? And that's what happens. Your family is not just, oh, there's African American community and that's it. No, your family is now locals, Black British, Ugandans, sometimes Kenyans. You know what I mean? So we have all these people. And then now in this new family, what is the code of ethics that we are operating in this family or in this group, right? Because you have to have a certain level of honesty and transparency, which works. Like for me, I tell people, look, this is what we're going to do, this is what I have, and vice versa. And that might be uncomfortable for some people that have not had to do that before. But now when you have the rules of engagement in this family or in this new community, things start to develop very fast.
Yeah.
When we can operate, because in typical, I think, societies in Africa, how much some money is there or whatever may not be told to the group. But in this new group, okay, I'm going to be honest and transparent about what I'm going to do or bring to the group. So this is the group. Here's where we are. We're going to sometimes have problems in this group, but we can fix this group, okay? Then how do we impact the community with everybody's skills in this group? And how do we recruit for the skills that we need in this group? That's another thing too we got to talk about. Once you build this community of people over time, you're going to be recruiting people with different skill sets in that group that can do things for you in that group that you cannot. And that's how slowly but surely that community starts to develop, because now it's more, number one, it's more skilled, right? The more skilled a community you're in, the better off you're going to be anywhere in the world. If that group has resources, and it's not just money, it's skills, it's ability to do business, it's ability to be able to sway people. You need those people who can administrate, those people who are the workhorses or whatever. All of those people need to be in that community, just like in the Black community. We had people who were mechanics, we had people who did hair, whatever. So you need that group to be very versatile, right? Because that's building your own safety net. Now, once you're able to start to do that time and time out, everything gets easier over time. So that's something that you got to look at. What is my new community going to look like, and how do you build it? One of the things you need to learn how to do is how to build communities. Most Americans don't know how to do it because we lost it. America is very individualistic. But here in Africa, it's about community building. So how do you build communities that support people? How do you sacrifice on behalf of that community? People respect you. Do you keep it real with those in your group? Once that community starts, people want to join you. Like, for example, I know I'm being long with it. I got so many messages from people when we had the event with the Nylon's Connection that want to work with Kenganda or want to work with Nylon's Connection because of the event. Because like, wow, it looked organized. It looked like this. What can we do to help you? People will help you. But you got to have a standard of how that community you're trying to build operates. It can't be fighting, a whole bunch of sex going on all the time. Just, nothing happening in the group, but just kicking it, hanging out in pictures. It has to be something that's viable. Yeah. So it has to be a valuable group. Now, if you can do that as a group, you'll have more success here. Even if you're leaving and coming back, hey, contact people, keep them, and then add value wherever you are. Then you will have, your chances are higher. Yeah, as a group. But you have to think as a group, because being an individual here won't work.
Okay, well said, Dashay. That's the perfect way to end the episode.
Yeah. Send me the link when it's out, please.
Exactly.
So you
My
can learn.
own research, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, tell the boy they can find you. Just
Tinagram on Instagram.
At O'Shea Duke on Instagram.
okay. If you guys have any links or something you'd like to share with us, email us at teamkenganda@gmail.com. We are also forming a WhatsApp group. I'll have that linked in the description box.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna give you my real number in there.
No, it's a work number that's going to be on there. So
Yeah.
it's not any of our personal numbers. It's just a Kenganda work number.
Sorry.
So if you have links or anything that you'd like to share with
Yeah.
us, just drop it in there. Because like emails, we respond to them, but like WhatsApp will just be quick. And it's like a community, guys. I don't think it's a bad thing.
And as we develop and get more, I mean, we'll have maybe online conferences, people you can meet. I mean, we'll just do it. I mean, as we get more information, then it could be easier. You can connect with people at your own risk and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But you need to community building is something that I had to learn how to do.
Yeah.
And it was something that I was not forced to do. So when you're in America, you might have to go back and look at what your skills are right now, or in Britain or in Canada, and look at what skills you need to adapt. Like I had to adapt very quickly to be here. And community is about me sacrificing as an individual so that other people can make it. And I know that some people are going to be selfish in that group and I have to deal with it when it comes. But then what are the rules of engagement of me and how I operate with other people? Once you get that, your chances of doing very well here are very high.
Yeah.
Very high.
Perfect. Well said. So yeah, guys, follow us on our social media pages at Kenganda Nation. Hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do all the nice things. And if you want to see Miss Kohani Honey doing her thing, or if you want to find love, head over to the Pan African Dating Show. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.